Have you ever stopped to think, why is it that only very few people have an amazing relationship? Did they just get lucky? Are they the chosen ones, perhaps? I think seriously, most of us would agree, wouldn't we, that great relationships take work. The problem is, more often than not, we have no idea what to work on. Well, over the last 20 plus years now, working with countless couples, we've observed that all successful relationships, every one of them, exhibit 4 simple yet fundamental habits which we want to share with you over the next 15 minutes or so. The great news is that these are habits that we can all learn and develop. And when we do, we significantly increase our chances of having one of those amazing relationships. If we don't, chances are you probably never will. Every failing relationship we've ever seen has lacked one or more of these habits. As we were reminded just recently over Sunday lunch.
And what a Sunday lunch that was. We met this couple socially, connected well with them because we shared similar city backgrounds. Let's call them Rachel and Steve. So we invited them to have lunch with us to discuss the business that Steve wanted to launch. But as we ate and chatted, we started sensing that Rachel wasn't happy at all. So I leaned across and I said, Rachel, what do you think about this business idea? And her response said it all. I know nothing about this, and he never discusses anything with me. So John and I just exchanged quick glances to say, this is serious, but we're going there. And then suddenly, the thin wallpaper covering the cracks just started to peel off. And out tumbled the frustration and the disappointment and the anger and the fact that Steve was working away from home more and more. And when he did come home on the weekends, he would sleep downstairs in the living room sofa. And then Steve dropped the bomb. You know that if it wasn't for those 2 boys, I'd have left you a long time ago. Now, we do spicy food, but, but that was a bit more spice than we were planning for Sunday lunch.
Precisely. Now, we'll come back to Rachel and Steve's story, but I guess you already know their story is by no means unique. Let me share some stats with you. With divorce rates around 40% in much of the developed world, and cohabiting couples breaking up at much higher rates of 60 to 70%, the stats tell us that around half, 50% of all long-term couples simply not going the distance. Now, what that tells us, and don't look around now, but either you or the person sitting right next to you is a Rachel or a Steve. It is. That's the reality.
And the mental health.
Now, this emotional trauma is also spilling over and impacting our mental health. In their 2016 report, the Mental Health Foundation issued the stark warning that the absence of quality relationships is, get this, it's killing us faster than obesity and lack of exercise. And all of this is having an impact on the next generation as well. Research out of the Marriage Foundation has shown that the single biggest predictor of teenage mental health is, guess what? Family breakdown. Their research goes on to show that where couples separate, the children are 10 to 15% more likely to have mental health problems than where the couple stays together. These are big numbers. Now, all of this goes to explain why the epicenter of mental health today is currently in our 16 to 24-year-olds. That's where it is. And of course, none of this is without cost. Family breakdown in the UK is costing us, UK taxpayers, a whopping £51 billion a year. That's a huge number. It's almost half what it costs to run the entire National Health Service. Relationship breakdown is a huge, huge problem.
It is. And to solve a problem of this scale, borrowing a phrase from medical science, what we need are better fences at the top of the cliffs rather than just more ambulances at the bottom. And in relationship land, these 4 habits are strong fences. You see, all relationships go over a similar set of hurdles triggered by life events. It could be setting up house together, or having that first baby, or in a work context, being promoted to positions that involve or demand more time away from home. And so these hurdles show up as unmet expectations, poor conflict resolution styles, trust and respect issues, and poor communication. Outside of abusive relationships, success comes from being equipped to get over these hurdles smoothly, because stumbling at hurdle after hurdle just leads to frustration. And when people feel frustrated and stuck with no way forward, they end up going their separate ways. Our experience over the last 20 years confirms that mastering these 4 habits gets you over the hurdle. It's not about being perfect. We're not perfect. But it is about being intentional in developing the habits. Shall we share the habits? Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. So the first of the habits then, be curious, not critical, helps you get over the hurdle of frustration that comes from unmet expectations. And we learned this one ourselves the hard way. Our story goes all the way back to 30 years ago when we first met at business school, when Andrea came to the UK to get her master's and ended up getting her Mr. as well. And don't let the current hairstyle fool you. That was me back then. Anyway, a few years on, we set up in business together, and it took us all of about 3 months before the wheel started to come off. Because very quickly we realized that our different work styles were grating against each other.